Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this is my review of Battlestar Galactica, Episode 2. Yeah. We've the colonies have been destroyed, the humans are all on the run, and lots of people in the refugee spaceships are starving, basically, yeah. So things are looking bleak, yeah. Anyway, they have to go to Earth, that's their primary goal, in the belief that they'll be perfectly safe once they find the planet Earth. And the weird thing is, originally, the show was conceived by Glenn A. Larson in the late 60s, and it was going to be called Adam's Ark. And a terrible disaster happens on planet Earth. Look, there's no food, it's a big famine, so they all have to leave, like Noah's Ark, gather all the people, get away from this land in search of a new home. Then the story changed. Instead of coming from Earth, they're looking for Earth. So the first humans were on the planet Kobol. They colonized the 12 planets. Then those 12 colonies were destroyed. So they zoomed off and find the 13th tribe, the 13th colony that's Earth, yeah. And this is not 100% original, no. There's an old book that predates Battlestar Galactica, and I think it's called Chariots of the Gods or something like that. That is about the theory that the first humans originated on another planet and then it colonized various planets until eventually they came to Earth. And if you want to go even further back, in Star Trek, only in one episode, when they find a planet that's never been discovered before, so yes, really going where no one's gone before, and they find really advanced humans, or just their minds, no bodies, just minds, yeah, and they have to put these minds inside human bodies, only temporarily, and then put them in robot bodies, yeah. And he keeps calling them my children, yeah, because they're much more advanced than anything Starfleet has to offer. And then it is hinted that the first humans lived on a different planet and then colonised various planets all over the galaxy. And Dr. McCoy says that explains why there's so many humanoids all over the galaxy. Yeah. So this idea has been hinted at before. Yeah. Anyway, so in other words, the Galactica has to get to Earth. But where can they go until then? They have to stop somewhere on the way. Yeah. Oh, and there's Starbuck who... He's met Cassiopeia and quite fancies her, so now we have a bit of a love triangle. Athena and Cassiopeia both fancy Starbuck, yeah. And, Cassiopeia is a socialator, which is that you work it out afterwards. That's another, it means like a prostitute or an escort, yeah. And the TV network said that's not appropriate. We can't have a socialator in this show, so kill her off or change her job completely. Now, it is hinted originally she was going to be killed, eaten by the Ovion creatures, yeah. But then they changed their mind, decided, keep her in the show, just change her job, yeah. And anyway, Starbuck and Cassiopeia are about to get it on, do some heavy snogging in a secret room where nobody's looking. But somebody is looking, Athena. And yeah, she's very angry, presses a button, load of steam goes on them and, well, spoils the moment, basically, yeah. Starbuck is always in trouble. He may be a good fighter and a very moral warrior, but his social life is all over the place, basically, yeah. Anyway. Oh yes, I suppose I should mention Muffet, the Daggett. Now, Daggett is another word that they use. It means dog, basically, yeah. So there's a robot Daggett, or dog. And when I first saw the show when I was a kid, I thought, Muffet. Isn't that a character, a marionette puppet, a puppet of a horse that's in black and white and sings a lot, or something like that? And then I found out, no, that's Muffin. Muffin the Mule. Yeah, that was a very popular kids show in the 1950s. Yeah, okay. So Muffet is cute and cuddly. And Muffet, I remember when I watched the show, Muffet had kids divided as to whether it was a good idea or not. I mean, I didn't mind Muffet the robot dog, but other kids thought, no, Muffet is too cute and cuddly, silly, laughable. Not the sort of character you want to see in a, really tough, adventure, action-packed story, yeah. The sort of character that should be in Care Bears, not in Battlestar Galactica, yeah. Anyway, oh yes, and speaking of bears, I didn't know Muffet was supposed to be a dog. I thought it was supposed to be a cute robot teddy bear, but I found out why later. And, some inconsistencies with the originals, with the Battlestar Galactica annual. Baltar was meant to be killed originally, yes. He was taken to a Cylon base star, and the Cylon Imperious leader, although they call him that, technically he isn't. He's a robot copy of the original Imperious leader. Anyway, Baltar is of no further use to them, so they want to chop his head off. And the Cylon Centurion draws his sword, holds his head, is about to chop his head off like that. That's how the Roman Centurions would chop off heads. So yes, there is a link between Roman Centurions and Cylon Centurions. But they changed their mind at the last minute and decided to cut that scene out. No, Baltar gets to live, yeah. And I think that's good, because the Cylons, yeah, they are pretty cool with their electronic, emotionless voice and all that. But to make the characters more relatable, we needed a more human element. So Baltar provided that. Yes, he's a human that is a commander of a base star. Oh yeah, something I noticed about this episode that I didn't see before. Why did Baltar betray all the human race like that? Well, it is explained. It's a very brief scene, but yes, before they threaten to chop his head off, he says, "I was promised a colony of my own." That is why he betrayed the 12 colonies, because the Cylons promised he would rule one planet and all the other humans would be massacred. Or subjugated is the word he likes to use. But no, the Cylons betrayed him and decided to destroy all 12 colonies, yeah. And then they decided to keep Baltar alive for now, put him in a prison cell. Anyway, so in other words, the humans want to get to Earth, but they have to stop somewhere on the way, and they decide the planet Carolon, yeah. Oh yeah, another criticism of the Daggett, the robot dog, is I thought they had very limited resources here, you know. How can they afford to build a robot dog? Well, they're dedicating as much food as they can to all the people that are starving. People can't eat pieces of metal, so they haven't wasted resources building a robot dog, yeah. Well, no, Boxy, maybe a bit too cute and cuddly, but when I was a kid, yes, he did seem cooler because he had a robot dog, yeah. Anyway, oh yes, their mission is to get to the planet Carolon to stop for a rest. But before that, one character called Yuri, I think he's called, and he's a member of the Council of 12. How can he be a member of the Council of 12? I thought 11 of them were killed in the Holocaust on the 12 colonies. Well, they've started up a new Council of 12, yeah. Anyway, he's on he's on a spaceship called the Rising Star, and he's having a party. Invited loads of friends around because he's incredibly rich, and they have lots and lots of food for everyone, you know. When Apollo and Boomer discover this, they say, no, we're supposed to give all the food out equally. You will surrender all this food straight away, and all the food will be distributed equally to all the people. This isn't fair what you're doing, yeah. So officially, all the food is shared equally, but unofficially, yes, some of the characters are taking more rations than they actually need, yeah. And before they get to the planet Carolon, Starbuck, Apollo, and Boomer have to go through like this nebula and destroy these mines. Yeah, these mines have been put there from the Cylons to make it hard for anyone to get there. It's a bit of a palaver. They have to do it quickly because the nebula's really hot and they could all die of the heat. But eventually they destroy the mines and manage to get through. Oh yes, I do remember saying in a previous review, they did a toy of Starbuck, Mattel, in the original toy line. That was good because that was my favourite character. But why didn't they do a toy of Apollo? That's silly because he's the lead character. You've got to do a toy of the lead. I found out why. Because Dirk Benedict, he played Starbuck. Richard Hatch played Apollo. And he wanted more money. He wanted much too much money for them to use his likeness to make the action figure of him. So they didn't do it. They didn't make a toy of him to save a bit of money. Oh, right, okay, yeah. Wait a minute, yes, the Battlestar Galactica human toys, the faces look much more like the actors that played them. And that costed slightly more money. Is that why the Star Wars figures, the original line, none of the faces look like the actors? Because it saves money, you don't have to pay for their likeness, yeah. Anyway, so they land on Carolon. And they find, to their astonishment, they find an underground resort. There's lots of gambling, there's a hotel, and loads of food that's given them for free, you know. And Starbuck is a bit suspicious of this. He goes, wait a minute. None of these people here know about the destruction of the colonies. And how come, until now, none of us knew this resort existed, yeah. So it is a bit suspicious, but yeah, they do need food. So all those starving people in the refugee spaceships, they get lots of food. Yeah, so it seems like paradise. It's really nice there. Yeah, but Commander Adama is suspicious. Has everyone forgotten our flight from the Cylons? You know, we're all flying for our lives to get away from them. You know, and well, there's no trace of any Cylon ships following them. But it seems a bit strange. Yeah. And so yes, always be on your guard. Yes, always, yes, because after that, yes, the threat of extinction. This seems too good to be true. A load of Ovion insect warriors give them lots of food for free. You know, yeah. And if this is such a paradise, why is it nobody else has told us about this before? Yeah, they knew the planet Carolon existed, but they didn't know about the holiday resort. Yeah, and the episode ends on a cliffhanger. Some people go in an elevator, go down to the forbidden zone, the bit that humans aren't allowed to go to, open the door, well, what's here? What's this big mystery? They have a look and scream in terror. Well, what have they seen? To be continued. Yes. If it's a two-parter or a three-parter, end on a cliffhanger. So yeah, the episode is good. It keeps you gripped and everything. They're on the run, yeah. And they just want to get away from the Cylons. Well, they've done that bit. Now they've got to find a place to stop for a rest and get lots of food. Yeah. So yeah, but there are still unanswered questions to get you hooked enough to see the next show. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.